term adjacent to, when referring to disconnecting means, is found in both NFPA 79-2002 and NEC-2002. However, neither standard explicitly defines this term. NFPA 79-2002 Section 5.2 addresses the placement of disconnecting means. Specifically, Section 5.2 of NFPA 79-2002 states, for pressurized lubrication systems that use flammable fluids, the disconnecting means shall be located adjacent to the system. Similarly, NEC-2002 Section 430.102 addresses the same scenario. It states, for pressurized lubrication systems that use flammable fluids, the disconnecting means shall be located adjacent to the system. Again, as in NFPA 79-2002, the NEC-2002 does not provide a concrete definition for what constitutes adjacent to. This lack of a precise definition can lead to ambiguity and varying interpretations, especially in practical applications. The primary intent behind requiring the disconnecting means to be adjacent to the system is to ensure it is readily accessible. In the event of an emergency, personnel must be able to quickly locate and operate the disconnect. This quick accessibility is critical for safety, allowing for the immediate shutdown of the system to mitigate potential hazards. While the standards do not define adjacent to with a specific distance, a reasonable interpretation would generally mean within a few feet of the system. This proximity facilitates quick access and operation, aligning with the safety intent of the requirement. However, the interpretation of adjacent to can be flexible depending on the specific circumstances of the installation. Factors such as the size and layout of the facility, the presence of obstructions, and the specific type of system being protected can all influence what is considered an acceptable distance. In larger facilities, locating the disconnecting means in a remote location might be necessary due to space constraints or operational considerations. In such instances, it is crucial to ensure that there is a clear and unobstructed path to the disconnecting means. This clear path ensures that personnel can quickly reach the disconnect in an emergency, even if it is not immediately adjacent to the system. The accessibility of the disconnecting means is paramount. Regardless of the distance, the disconnect must be easily reached and operated without undue delay. Factors such as clear labeling, adequate lighting, and the absence of obstructions contribute to ensuring accessibility. Ultimately, the final determination of whether a particular location meets the adjacent to requirement rests with the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ. The AHA is responsible for interpreting and enforcing the electrical codes and standards in the given jurisdiction. They have the authority to make informed judgments based on the specific circumstances of the installation, taking into account factors such as safety, accessibility, and compliance with applicable codes and standards. When evaluating the placement of a disconnecting means, the AHA will consider several factors. These include the distance from the system, the presence of obstructions, the clarity of labeling, and the overall accessibility of the disconnect. They will also assess the potential risks associated with the system and the effectiveness of the disconnecting means in mitigating those risks. In cases where there is uncertainty about the interpretation of adjacent to, it is advisable to consult with the AHA. Seeking clarification from the AHA can help ensure that the installation meets the intent of the code and provides an acceptable level of safety. In summary, while NFPA 79-2002 and NEC-2002 require disconnecting means to be located adjacent to systems with flammable fluids, they do not provide a precise definition of this term. The intent of the requirement is to ensure quick accessibility for emergency shutdowns. The interpretation of adjacent to can vary depending on the specific circumstances, but the AHA has the final authority to determine compliance. Specific references can be found in NFPA 79-2002, Section 5.2, specifically 5.2, and NEC-2002, Section 430.102a.